This is a video about video games that surprised me in the PS4 generation. So games from 2014 to 2020, right? Mostly. So it's gonna be games that went under my radar, are games that I was not expecting to enjoy as much, right? And I keep in mind that these type of lists, they're subjective, right? So they're based on opinion, right? Leave down below your favorite surprises like from the PS4 generation, down below in the comments, right? So yeah, our first one is going to be Thief. Thief reminds me a lot of Dishonored games, right? The Dishonored games, first person stealth 1800s, right? This one is a little bit different because you're more so stealing stuff. So the main address of the game is that you're stealing stuff, right? You're trying to, and as well are you trying to uncover this mystery. And the biggest difference too is that offensively too as well, you are kind of limited like in your offensive weapons, but you gain more weapons over time. But starting out, right, like it's more slow. I was not expecting to like Thief because it is like a first person stealth type of game, and I'm not really into that. But still, this game has surprised me because it is very every single stealth encounter like is very intriguing and suspenseful. You got to be very careful, pay attention to your awareness, right? I believe there is this a vision mode, environmental mode, right? So you can see around certain areas where enemies are, etc. Right? So yeah, Thief. That's a Thief. Next one's going to be Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 definitely. Watch Dogs 2. What about Watch Dogs 2 is open world. The open world, tons of side activities, side quests. I was not expecting to like Watch Dogs 2 because I was very up and down on Watch Dogs 1. I did not know what to expect like from Watch Dogs 2. I bought it years later, when it was on sale. Watch Dogs 2, which is a very hard, I don't know, this game is very hard to find. But Watch Dogs 2, the hacking is improved, the movement is improved, the driving is improved, shooting mechanics improved, all those things, hacking, so you can hack more things now. You can, hack vehicles, right, and make the vehicle steer on its own, left, right, forward, back, etc. There's various collectibles, right? You can even hack people's phones, which is very fun, hacking into their profiles and all those things. Watch Dogs 2 is really like a story about internet security and this evil corporation taking over, about to take over like these network, whatever it's called, a DedSec or whatever, and there's like a newer version of a DedSec here. But yeah, Watch Dogs 2, and as well there's stealth, there's races, right? There is drone races and all that. So yeah, Watch Dogs 2 definitely. Next one is Rayman Legends. Rayman Legends. I am not much into platformers, so I'm not much into the platformers. But after playing Crash Bandicoot, Rayman Legends, I really like because of so many levels and tons of levels like in the game. Rayman Legends, my copy also had. You could also play Rayman Origins on it, so the original first game, I could play that entire game. Tons of characters on the game, right? The movement, fluidity, right? And replayability as well. Replayability. So again, like you gotta try and collect as many of these. I don't know what they're called, like those blue creatures, like in the cages. You gotta collect as many of them per level, and then that's gonna give you bonuses, unlock newer levels, etc. So yeah, Rayman Legends definitely, and I came out like in the early PS4 generation. Next one is gonna be chorvs. So chorvs. Sometimes I say chorvs. Oh, that's a weird name. Chorvs like a spaceship, type of action game. So spaceship action game. Before this, I didn't really know much about spaceship or jet simulators. I played a few plane simulators before, but Chorvs, fast paced, very fast paced. You're shooting down enemy spacecrafts and exploring new areas. It's kind of like a Mass Effect game in a way. I kind of like that, but it's more. It's specifically only the spaceship gameplay. Fast travel too as well, upgrading too. There is various, you can, I believe there was like a liberation, so you can liberate certain areas, right? And because you're in like outer space, everything is measured in, well, the game like is measured in a kilometer, so your distance like is measured in, a kilometers right away, 30 kilometers, 100 kilometers away, etc. Right, but you can always change it. A chorvs definitely surprised me, definitely surprised me. Last one's gonna be Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1. I was not really much into the first person shooter genre, right? Multiplayer games I wasn't really on my thing, but Battlefield 1, I love it because, just the moment to moment gameplay, the shooting mechanics, the sound design is very cool, right? Everything is, destructible like in the environment, so buildings or whatever it is, a crate, a tank, etc., trees. And yeah, it just feels very realistic and, a kind of big scale. It is a big scale. It can go up to 64 players if you're on a conquest map, etc. It is a World War One game, so it takes place in World War One. So most of the weapons that you get access to are semi-automatic, right, or a one-round burst. There's not a lot of fully automatic weapons. There are a few, but you have your sniper classes, the medic class, assault classes, all those things, engineer classes, right? And just playing this game, this game was very fun, suspenseful. I kind of got me back into the first person shooter, multiplayer genre. So yeah, Battlefield 1, definitely. Next one is going to be Mad Max. Mad Max, I love it for mostly, it's driving around the world is very fun. Now, Mad Max, I didn't know anything about Mad Max. I didn't know anything about the gameplay. I bought this years after, so many years after it was super cheap. Mad Max is like basically like you're building up, you're trying to find resources and upgrade points. So, resources, for example, oil is very important. Oil, if you don't have oil, you can't drive anywhere, right? So it's like basic, a knowledge like of oil, fuel. If a car has no fuel to refill, right? Or no, if you have no oil to refill your car, right? You can't go anywhere. You can't drive. Water is very important in the game. Finding water because it is a post-apocalyptic desert, right? So water, to replenish health and all that. But driving around the world is very fun. Driving around the world, fighting enemies. It's more so a melee offense, that type of thing. You get this harpoon, I believe. You get this rope, right? You get this shotgun. The shotgun only has like 1 to 2 rounds per use, right? Then you gotta, replenish ammo and all that. There's questing, side questing. A game reminds me a little bit of a Days Gone. I know Days Gone came after, but it reminds me a little bit of Days Gone, right? You can even hijack vehicles. You can even hijack vehicles like from bandits. You're mostly fighting bandits, but you can hijack the vehicles, bring them back to the garage, and claim that vehicle. So if you get a monster looking vehicle, you can bring it back to the base. You gotta drive it back to the base. You can claim it. I thought that was very fun. Then you can upgrade that vehicle, customize it, and all that. Jumping on cars, hijacking cars, right, and all those things. Next one is going to be Infamous First Light. Infamous First Light, it's just like a DLC. It's really a DLC game for Infamous Second Son. So Infamous, you have various elemental powers. First Light, you have the ability, a character can control light, basically, neon light. It's neon light specifically. This one, I really like how, there's infinite run, so you can run. So getting around the world was a lot easier. It's a lot easier in Infamous First Light. Movement is a lot easier, right? There is certain flashback sequences like in the game. There is flashback sequences to the DUP facility, right? This one has less content than a Second Son because again, it is like a DLC. But definitely, this one really surprised me. It's one of the few digital games that I have for the PS4, right? But basically, if you like Second Son, you're going to like this because all those. You obviously don't gain access to those other powers, but you gain access to the neon power, which is very fun. But again, all those things, the zapping abilities there, the slowdown abilities there, and all that. side questing too as well, collectibles and all that. Yeah, Infamous First Light, definitely. Another one is going to be Control from 2019. Control. I really love that Control. I didn't know what to expect from this game, right? I did not know what to expect from it. It's kind of like this paranormal, kind of like these entities have been have taken over this facility. A Control, you gain this offensive push, so this telekinetic push ability. You can lift up items, you can push enemies down, right? Yeah, you gain this gun, like various guns and weapon upgrades and all that. And you can lose health very quickly. And the enemies drop constant health drops and all that. Upgrades and mods. So there's tons of mods in this game. Lots of mods. I lose track of them, right? Mods for buffs and assists and all that. A Control is very fun. It is very fun. Now, getting around the world, the map was kind of confusing. The map is not that good. The map is not good. That is not that good. So, if you want to get to a previous side mission or side point, or like a collectible area, it's hard to find your way back to that area. You gain fast travel points, fast travel access points, kind of like meditation sites in Jedi Fallen Order, right? But yeah, definitely this one definitely has surprised me. I seen the game. I thought it was gonna be of like an Infamous type game, and I love Infamous, but a Control is its own type of game experience, a very unique take like on the third person action, a superpower type genre. So yeah, last one is Until Dawn. So Until Dawn, I didn't know much of the story oriented, the story sequence type games like Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, but Until Dawn definitely this one surprised me. Until Dawn, it was super cheap, super cheap. Like in this one game store. Until Dawn, right? So basically, there are these a group of teenagers or young adults in this ski a resort area and the snow mountains or whatever, and then there's this a mystery. There's this kind of like horror a mystery. So your decisions they play a role. Certain choices are going to be weighed heavily. So some choices will dictate at the game. Will dictate certain outcomes later on, like in the game, right? There are totems, so there are these collectibles that you cannot collect. The totems are specifically they're more for like so they literally flash forward like to certain sequences, so they're gonna show you what's going to happen, what can potentially happen. I thought that was very cool. This game, so it's just all about knowing what a choice to make. Sometimes at a choice that you want to make, you might I think that's the right choice, but it's not. And there's like a big twist in the game, right? So something that you thought was happening, didn't really happen. So yeah, So Until Dawn, definitely, this one definitely has surprised me. And again, it's one of those story-oriented games, so it's not for everybody. But it surprised me again because just those decisions and suspense. Some of the characters can be annoying here and there, but again, the decisions, the suspensefulness, the twist kind of makes up for it. So yeah, top surprises, games that have surprised me like in the PS4 generation. Thank you.